Well, hello guys. I'm here just to have a quick, not a tutorial per se, but it's, if you like, it's a videoed discussion. One of the forums I inhabit quite regularly, the 72nd Scale Aircraft Forum, currently there's a discussion ongoing about what's called the airbrush poll, but it's a discussion about people and their airbrush use. And some people are discussing how difficult it is to, or what a rigmarole it is to set up, use and pack away airbrushes and that kind of thing, and seem not dubious but quite surprised at how I treat my airbrush as just another tool in my armoury. It's always on the go. It's my Iwata HPC Plus is my everyday airbrush, although I do have an Iwata TR1 that I use for spraying varnishes and things like that, and some work, but mainly it's this HPC Plus. Now, as we discussed, or I discussed on the forum, you heard the compressor kick in there for a second. I have an on-demand compressor, which basically means that as I spray, pressure drops and it cuts in, gets back up to pressure and cuts out again. So it's a stop-start kind of thing. Now, as I've said, quite often I forget to turn this off. All the seals on all my setup tends to be so good that it, in order to keep pressure up, if I forget to turn that off, every 4 hours or so it will come on for a couple of seconds just to bring it back up to pressure, cut out again. So the fact that I forget often means that I forget, and I'll only remember sort of 4 hours later when I hear it kick in when I'm elsewhere in the house doing something else. So anyway, one of the things I've been discussing is how, like I said, I just use this as a tool. It's at the side of my desk all the time, and I pick it up and I use it for just about almost any painting job I can get away with using the airbrush for. Over and above using a normal paintbrush, I will, and I find it pretty much just as easy and quick. Most of my, or a good deal I should say, of my painting these days is done with Tamiya paints, such as this one here. Okay, my thinners, generally most of my thinners these days is this stuff here. It's called standard thinners. What it is essentially is cellulose thinners, but I buy it in 5 litre cans from my local car refinishing shop. It costs about £11 or £12 for 5 litres, which is far cheaper than any other kind of thinner I think you can find anywhere. So that's my thinners. I decant it into this old Tamiya thinner bottle here, and I also keep a little bit of it in an old liquid poly bottle for cleaning my brushes. Now, what we were discussing is how quickly I can pick up, use and clean my airbrush. Some people are not incredulous per se, but they're just asking questions about how quick. So what I'm going to do is show you how quickly this can be done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Tamiya paint. So for this it's just going to be Tamiya with a little bit of this cellulose thinner. Okay, the other thing I'm going to be using is kitchen towel. So I'll tear off a bit of kitchen towel and put it over there. So just so we know what we're talking about, I've been discussing this Hurricane that I'm building, the new Airfix Hurricane, and I've been spraying a lot of the interior parts on the Hurricane. So first thing I use, it's one of the uses I still have, if you like, for normal brushes. So here's a normal brush. It's quite a broad one. Okay, so if we take the cockpit green, okay, I'm using a test bed here, just a test bed model to spray it on. Okay, so I'll give it a quick shake. Okay, pop the lid off, and then I use the brush, okay, to give it a quick stir. Okay, this brush is used pretty much just for this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll bring this camera in a little bit closer. Okay, so you'll have to bear with me if it's, hopefully it's all going to be in shot. Okay, so Tamiya paint's really quick to stir. That's stirred now. Okay, that's stirred, ready to use. Can't really do that with most enamels, can you? You're gonna spend ages stirring it. So, as I've discussed, okay, I'll take a couple of drops of cellulose thinner. Okay, there's 3 or 4 drops in there. Okay, load the brush up into the colour cup. That is it. Okay, spray. I can see it coming through. Okay, and you can see, you know, I can spray quite happily with that. You know, I can get, you know, decent fine lines. Okay, so you can see the kind of lines I'm getting. That's just a quick mix there, and I can also open it up and spray. One of the things that you need to bear in mind is that this paint, Tamiya paint, a little bit, that was literally, as you saw, okay, that was one brush full of that into the colour cup with a couple of drops of thinner, okay, and as you can see, you know, that's going on wet, and that's how far I got before it ran out, and that was just one brush full, okay. So anyway, let's say I've finished what I need to spray, okay, the remaining paint has been tipped out, right, and I want to move on to my next colour. So what do? Well, to clean the airbrush, take some of the thinners, drop it in, okay, stir it around with a brush like that to generally give your colour cup a good clean and swill out, and then I will tip that away into a vessel of some sort, which I've just done. Take a bit of kitchen towel, okay, take a bit of kitchen towel, do that, okay, and spray a bit more through. Now what I want to show you, okay, is that little bit there, so what was that, 25-30 seconds maybe? Okay, you can already see that is spraying through pretty much clean. Certainly clean enough to move on to, for instance, my next colour. So okay, let's say we've got some XF53 neutral grey here, okay, so it's a different colour as opposed to the earlier green, so just so that you can see. Okay, again, quick stir. Two or 3 drops, brush load of paint in your cup, okay, check for flow. I've got flow, okay, and then you can start spraying like so. Okay, so again, let's see what we do with lines. There you go, so I've got some fine line work going on there. That's it. Okay, and again you can open the brush up and spray. As I said, that's one brush full of paint. Okay, so again we're going to clean it up, so I'll just tip the excess out. Couple of, probably 2 or 3 millilitres of cellulose thinner into the cup. Tip that out. Bit of kitchen towel. Okay, the lid back on the neutral grey. Bit more thinners in. Sometimes if you want to back flush the brush, like so, you can. Tip that out. Okay, let's see where we are in terms of spraying. So you saw the initial spray there was grey, a little bit of spray here wasn't, and now there you go. That is clean enough to move on to your next colour. And when I say that is why that's why I keep my airbrush on my desk as a tool which I can just pick up, spray for a few seconds, clean the brush. That's how quick it is, guys. In that time I've sprayed 2 different colours, cleaned between the colours, and I've cleaned the airbrush ready to go for the next colour that I want. That now just gets put to one side, and no doubt later on this evening I'll be picking it up again and spraying. But that was just to let you see when you use a brush daily and you are treating it just as a tool rather than anything particularly grand or complicated, it helps to show just how quickly things can go. So what I want to do really is demystify using an airbrush to people, and get more people who perhaps don't use an airbrush to start using them and thinking of it. As I said, I can't say it enough times, just another tool for your modelling. Nothing big, clever, complicated about it. So anyway, guys, I hope that was of some help to you, and I'll talk to you really soon. Hopefully I'll get back into making a few videos soon. So that's it for now, and happy modelling.